Hello and good morning, my lovely friends. This is Marta. Welcome back. Today I'm having something different for you, my friends. I've been doing a little bit cleanup here and there in my studio, and I found the box of glitter. If you're like me and if you've been crafting for some time, you probably have some tons of glitters in your drawers which you've not been using every day. This is something we fell in love many years ago, and it was all about shininess, sparkliness, and everyone were buying glitter. Later on, we've been introduced to those lovely non-shredding glitter papers which are absolutely amazing, and they don't leave those glitter beds. So if you're like me, you probably hide your glitters somewhere in a drawer and they haven't been seen daylight for months, if no longer. So today I've decided to actually revisit my glitters just because I was cleaning up one of the drawers and I found this box of the glitter in beautiful rainbow colors. So I just thought, no, this cannot goes to the waste. I have to play with it. I have to come up with some nice ideas, especially Christmas time is coming, so that will be a great to create some lovely shiny cards out of it. So for my today's video, I'm gonna be playing with the glitter, and I'm also having a glue. For my glitters, I'm gonna be using a double-sided tape, a glossy accent, and the regular PV glue. And this is the basic supplies which most of you already have in your stash. So let's see what we can create from it. And if you stick till the end of the video, I will also show you my way. How am I sealing my cards just to prevent the glitter from shredding? So I hope you will enjoy this video. I hope you will find the value, and if you do, please don't forget to click a like, to subscribe to my channel, and to share it with your friends. Maybe they will like my crafty idea as well. Stay blessed, and I'll see you shortly on the other side. So to start, I'm having all elements ready, 3 ready-made card bases, and now I am cutting myself a front panel. I'm cutting it into 3 3/4 by 5.5 inch size, and now I will be playing with the glossy accents. For my first card, I choose this glue specifically because it's beautifully hold the shape. If you will smear some lines like I'm doing here, they're not gonna be running away because this glue is just perfect for creating embellishments like that. So what I did, I've just created a couple of the lines. Some of them I squeezed bottle a little bit to have this more regular line, and the other one came up as a little bit like a splotchy string of dots, but I really like it because this gives this handmade vibe. Now I am covering everything in a gold glitter, and I'm just leaving my panel aside to dry. In meantime, I will be working on some focal point, and for that I grabbed a piece of the green color cardstock, but if you don't have any, you can use your inks to color your paper, but just make sure it's super dry before you will go to the next step. I just quickly hand draw myself a very simple Christmas tree, and I will follow it my draw line with the glue. At first, I'm doing just the green part of the tree. I'm not doing the tree trunk because I want to cover it all in the green color glitter. I'm using the darker one. I do have 2 shades, and I will be filling up the gaps with the lighter one later on, you will see. But first, I'm just gonna complete my tree by drawing this very simple tree trunk. This is absolutely amazing thing for you to try, my friends. Even if you're scared, if you don't feel like, oh, I don't have any drawing skills, this is very basic drawing, nothing really complicated. And because we're using this glue and a glitter, this will give us a beautiful dimension. So even if your tree it's not gonna be perfect, it will still look fabulous. Now, to not make it as empty, I am just going over in between the spaces and adding this lighter color green glitter, and I'm just making sure everything goes back to the container. But as you can guess, even after a first use, I already have some bits of the glitter all over the place. But never mind, I am just using my heating tool, firstly to speed up the heating process, but secondly, once you heat up your glue a little bit, this helps of those little glitter particles to stick even better. but just make sure you're not overcooking it because your glue will start bubbling. So we don't want to do that. We're just moving our heat gun very quickly, and that's it. I'm leaving my bits to dry, to fully dry on the side, and now I am just jumping to the second card. This video will be a little bit jumping in between the cards, but you will see it all makes sense once you work in. You're leaving one part to dry, and then you can work on another one, and that way, instead of creating one card, you always end up with 2-3 projects like I'm doing here. I've grabbed another piece of the cardstock. This was the remaining panel from cutting this A5 size card in half, and I've just covered it with the double-sided tape. For my second card, this is a 3 cards we are creating, and for each one I will be playing with the different type of the glue. So once we use up this glossy accent on the first card, it's time for a double-sided tape on the second card. If you have the tape in different wideness, you can just play with it. You can alter it some strips like I'm doing here. And what I did, I've just changed the pattern in between the spaces in between my strips, and I've revealed every second strip. I'm not covering all of them. This is just a half of the strips, and I've used this very dark silver color glitter, almost like a gunmetal color one, and I've covered the first layer of the strips. And once I'm happy, I'm just going with the brush, slightly tapping off the excess of the glitter on my card, and then I will be revealing rest of the strips and put different color glitter. And this is a very fun technique. You can use it for many colors. I'm obviously sticking with the one color family, but you can alter your strips into like green, red, gold, or something very Christmassy colors. I really love it. And just the one thing to remember is it's good idea to have the piece of the this revealing strip, obviously the one from your double-sided tape will be very narrow, so that's why I'm keeping the bit from the other piece, but just something. You can use a little piece of the plastic foil as well, just to make sure you wrap your glitter properly to give it a chance to stick to those double-sided tapes. Now I am using a little bit of the adhesive in the sheets, and this is something, if you don't have it, my friend, don't worry. You can cover your piece of the cardstock with the double-sided tape. Just place one strip next to another one, so you will have this this piece cover. You don't really need the whole A5 size pages. I'm just doing it because out of convenience. First, it will be quick, and then I will have some ready-made if I need it later on. I'm grabbing a couple of the snowflakes, and I'm not sure if you notice, this is a good trick to adhere this double-sided sheets. You're not gonna reveal the whole bit. I just open up this little like a top, half an inch of the top, and then once I make sure my paper is straight, I just pull the release paper from underneath, so that way I have no bubbles, my paper was adhere straight, and I have this beautiful sticky paper to cut my elements. And then I will just, all I really need is just use my die, cut it through, and I will have the elements which are sticky on the back. And this is a good idea, especially if you're having this thin sentiments, you would like to cut them, and rather than using the glue to try to go over all the bits, you can use the sticky adhesive sheets to do the job for you. Now I am making sure everything is clean from those little like die cut bits, and now I'm placing it on a piece of the copy paper, and I'm using my glitters to cover up the sticky side. Now for the largest snowflakes, I've used this white color iridescent color glitter, and then for the rest I will use the blue color one because I want to create those snowflakes. But because I will be adding one on top of another one, I want to have have this color difference, so the snowflake will pop even more. I am just rubbing them, this time with the finger. It works exactly the same as the reveal sleep. So if you don't have this slicky paper, you can use your own finger and you'll be good to go. Just make sure you use a wet wipe to wipe it off straight away, because you will have the glitter everywhere. So once I'm happy with my snowflakes, I will be starting to work on my card number 3. And for that, I am using another piece of the paper, and this time we're gonna be working with PVA glue. I found this very old stencil. I'm sorry I'm not able to tell you from which magazine it was, but I'm 100% sure that this was the freebie in one of the card making magazine. So I'm sure that if you're buying those magazines, you may have something like that, or if you don't have any stencils at all, you can create your own by using your favorite dies like a snowflakes or something, and just cut couple elements out of the piece of the thick cardstock. Now, this is my first trial, and I must tell you, my friends, I am disappointed. I used the kitchen sponge to put the glue through the stencil, and I don't think I did the proper job. Is either my sponge wasn't wet enough from the glue, or I wasn't pressing hard. But once I cover up this pattern with the glitter, it wasn't sticking enough, it wasn't like visible enough. So I just thought like, no, I need to change something. I still want to use this PVA glue, but because I'm having a stencil, I came up with idea, why not use this glue texture paste. I don't know if you hear it before. You probably seen it. If you're watching a lot of your crafting videos, you probably came across it. But if you have the PVA glue and you have this baby powder, which I happen to have the whole bottle, you can turn it into your own texture paste. So what I did here, I've just used a little container and I put around 1 tablespoon of the glue, and now I am just slowly adding this baby powder, and you want your consistency to be really thick. You don't want a runny paste, because it will sip underneath your stencil. And once I was happy with the texture, you really want to make sure that once you stirring, you can see this stirring pattern left over. It's not runny, it's really good proper consistency. In meantime, I have a little visitor coming over playing with my beds, but now I'm just putting it all back together, and I'm just starting adhering my paste. And what you see here, my friends, a couple years ago I've broke a knife in a kitchen, and rather than throwing it away, I thought, oh, this is kind of good as a spatula, because it's very stiff. So this is what I'm using. This is an old kitchen knife, but it works perfect. So what I did, I've put this homemade embossing texture paste, this glue paste, over the stencil, and now I am covering it with the glitter. And oh my goodness, this is absolutely amazing. I just love it. I absolutely love it. The only one thing you have to remember, my friends, that straight after you finish your work, you cover up your paper with the glitter, you have to make a 2 minutes break, and then just go and wash your stencil, wash your spatula, because you don't want that mess. Now, only one thing I'm doing before I will actually go and wash my tools, I'm gonna quickly put this heating tool just to help up the glitter to actually stick to this paste. And here, one thing I've did off the camera, I was already on my way to the bathroom, but I thought I have a piece of the glue paste left over, so I just put it on a clear piece of the paper, just so you could see how beautiful the pattern was embossing, and that you can use it as a regular texture paste. Now it's time to seal my elements before I will actually go and assemble my cards. I'm using this store box, fill up with the piece of the wallpaper, and I'm using this repositionable adhesive. This is a spray adhesive you can buy in many of the warehouse store, like a reparation and the building materials and stuff like that, or you can buy them online. There is also, you don't need to actually have the repositionable. The normal adhesive in a spray will be working the same, and I think it's even cheaper. I do have this repositionable one because I'm using it for my brother's scan and cut machines to actually restick my mats whenever they lose the grip. So once I spray everything with the thin layer, I am covering it with the clear coat of the embossing powder. Now, two things, my friends. First and foremost, if you're using the spray adhesive inside, make sure you keep your window open. You just want to have this fresh air because you don't want to breathe it. Now, another thing I want to tell you, if you don't have this repositionable spray adhesive, you can use your embossing ink. However, I would not recommend to tap your elements directly to your ink pad because you will destroy them with these glitter bits. What you can do instead, if you have this little reinkers with the embossing ink, you can grab a piece of the kitchen sponge and just put a drop over there and just dab it all over your project. This will still work as well. I'm just using this spray because it's much quicker and easier for me to do. Now, once I have all my elements sealed, I will be starting to assemble my cards. They're gonna be very easy because for today's project I want to focus on the technique rather than creating a big cards and taking a lot of time. But I hope that these ideas will spark some joy in your heart and maybe just bring you your own ideas, thinking like, oh hey, I do have a glitter, I do have a glue, let me see what I can came up from it. So for my first card, I'm just leaving it as simple as that. I don't even put any sentiment. I've put my front panel mounted on a foam tape just to rise it up a little bit, give it this nice dimension, and then I am adhering my Christmas tree on top. Just to finish it off, I am using a couple of the half gold pearls and a little star which I have from the table scatter set, which I've bought a couple years ago. It was actually on a reduction section in the supermarket, and I've bought it, and ever since I'm just using one star here and there. And as you can see, couple of the gems, whatever you have, whether it's pearls, gems, or the Nuvo drops, something like that, just to dress up your tree a little bit, and your card is ready. Now I will show you them later on the end photo because I want you to see this shininess, this sparkliness, and all this texture we were able to achieve. Now, second card, I am just trimming just to the size so it will fit my card bases. And I must tell you, my friends, I really love those torn edges card bases. I'm not quite sure if they're still available on a sale, but the Tim Holtz is actually having the guillotine, which actually trim in this decal edge style. So if you're interested, I will give you a link down below in the description area so you could check this out. Now, another thing I want to tell you, my friends, this is a Black Friday week. The CRAFTER'S store, which I am working with, I am in their design team, they do have this big ever for a week long going sale with lots of the offers, and I will include the link. And what I'm also including for you in the description area is a link to the competition. Well, it's not really a competition because you can sign up by putting your email and putting your details. You may have a chance to win the SIZZIX FOLDAWAY die cutting machine, which is a really good offer. And all you really have to do is just go into the link, just sign up, and you have this chance to win as well. So I thought I will give you a shout about that. And lastly, before I'll finish this video, I want to tell you, my friends, that I've been nominated. This is a happy news I want to share with you, my friends. I've been nominated by the Craft World to this Craft World inspirational award. There was a whole voting for different categories, whether it's a designer, online inspiration, or something who's dealing with the charity. And in a category of the online inspiration, I've been nominated. So if you would like to support me, I will give you a link to the Craft World, to this article, where you can find me and you can vote for me or any other creator if you would like to take a chance as well. And they also have some super awesome prize for you to win if you take a part in the voting as well. So jumping to my third card, what I did, I've just trimmed this panel a little bit, and I am creating a slightly larger panel from the white cardstock, which I'm going to be colored to match this little red from the sentiment. Now the sentiments which I use for this card and the previous one, they both coming from my Christmas edition of Box of Sunshine, which I've started designing 2 months ago. This month I had the box number 2, and month before I had my very own first box of sunshine, which is filled with some goodies. There's some handmade flowers, a box of elements to cut, and the paper pad. So if you're interested as well, you can see the other video. I will link it over here somewhere, where you can have a quick look on my box of sunshine as well. So nothing really difficult for my today's card. I've just did them simple, but the texture, this amount of the sparkliness used up from this glitter is absolutely fantastic. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it brings you some ideas, and let me know what's your favorite technique, or the way you're using the glitter, what you're playing with it, are you using it often or not. Let me know what you think about the using up the glitters and what techniques you are using it with. So I'm adhering my sentiments here. I had a little bit wiggle, thinking, oh, shall I do it sideways or this way, portrait or landscape, but eventually I've decided to keep all of the cards in the same way. So if I will be creating a photos, they will just look nicely, but either way it's all going to be looking good, because this texture, this beautiful texture from the glitter, I've managed to create by using the stencil and this glue paste, this homemade paste I was giving you recipe. It's just looking fantastic. So here are my cards, 3 of them, each in different style. First one with the glossy accent, second one with double-sided tape, and third one with the PVA glue. Let me know which you like the most, and if you like this video, please give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you shortly. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.